Did you think aliens would invade by bombing Earth with flying saucers? That is an insult to a Type VII civilization. In the ultimate projection of the Kardashev Scale, when a civilization breaks through to God status, it needs no ships because it has mastered the universe's source code. Imagine you are a character in a game and a Type VII civilization is the programmer. To eliminate you, they do not need to fire a laser, they just modify a physical constant. For example, they change light speed from $300,000 text, kilometer s, dollar to zero in an instant. All chemical reactions in the galaxy stop, all stars die, and you are frozen in time before you feel pain. The ironclad laws of physics we desperately study are just background parameters they set arbitrarily, but the path to civilization upgrade itself is full of deadly traps. In 1964, Soviet astrophysicist Nikolai Kardashev proposed a simple and crude civilization classification standard based on how much energy you can harness. Initially, there were only 3 levels, but scientists later expanded it to 7. Each level up requires a 10,000-fold increase in energy mastery. It is not linear growth, but an exponential explosion. Humanity is currently at Type 073. We have not even touched the Type I threshold. To a Type I civilization, we are as laughable as a primitive man making fire by rubbing sticks. But this is not the worst. The worst is that we stand at the universe's most dangerous crossroads. The Fermi paradox asks, if the universe is so big, why do we hear no sign of other civilizations? The answer may be cruel. Most civilizations die between Type 07 and Type I. This is the Great Filter Theory. Nuclear war, climate collapse, uncontrolled AI, and asteroid impact, any of these can annihilate us before we cross the threshold. Statisticians estimate the survival rate at this stage is less than 1%. Either break through or go silent. There is no third way. If humanity survives this hurdle, we will undergo our first true metamorphosis. The standard for Type I civilization is complete mastery of the mother planet's energy, reaching $10 carat, 16 watts. What does this mean? In 2023, all of humanity consumed only 18 terawatt-hours, but a Type I civilization requires 10 million terawatt-hours, a 500,000-fold difference. Scientists predict humanity still needs to struggle for at least 200 years. By then, the Earth will be an automated smart city. We can turn off typhoons. It will regulate sunlight everywhere with massive orbital mirrors, turning arid regions into instant oases, and relieve crustal pressure to prevent earthquakes. Volcanoes. Plug the magma energy into the global power grid. Nature is no longer a threat, but a precisely controllable tool. Crucially, Type I civilization means global unity, no more borders, no more resource wars. All of humanity advances into the cosmos as a single entity. We will establish permanent bases on the Moon and Mars. Space elevators will be everyday transport, and a weekend trip to Mars will be a reality. But the prerequisite for all this is we must survive the Great Filter. Type I is only the beginning. Once you master a planet, the next step is naturally to master a star. Type II civilization energy needs a $10 carat, 26 watts, equivalent to collecting the entire output of the Sun. The Sun releases $3.80 times 10 carat, 26 watts per second, enough to power current human needs for 5 billion years if fully utilized. How to collect it? In 1960, American physicist Freeman Dyson proposed the famous Dyson Sphere, a gigantic shell that completely envelops a star, absorbing every single joule of its energy. Later scientists suggested variants like Dyson Ring and Dyson Swarm, because a solid shell is too difficult to build. In 2015, astronomers found bizarre light fluctuations near the star KIC 846-2852. The brightness dropped irregularly by 22% and lasted for several days. A planet blocking a star drops brightness by at most 1%. Some suspected it might be a megastructure built by an alien civilization. Of course, this is only speculation, but it is enough to make the heart race. Even more bizarre, Type II civilizations may actively go invisible. To avoid being detected by higher-level civilizations, they absorb all the star's visible light, releasing only hard-to-detect infrared radiation. So those dark areas we see in the night sky might be hiding dozens of Type II civilizations secretly observing us, the coal-burning savages. At Type II, scarcity is history. They can dismantle planets for building materials, turn Jupiter into a Dyson sphere shell matter, and energy can be converted. Needed things are simply created. Human lifespan averages 200 years and death begins to become optional. Type III civilization is the endpoint Kardashev originally envisioned and may be humanity's limit. They master the energy of the entire galaxy. 200 to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way are all enveloped in Dyson spheres. The energy scale reaches $10 carat, 36 watts, equivalent to 200 billion suns powering you simultaneously. Energy is no longer an issue. They start studying something more exciting: wormholes. According to general relativity, a wormhole can theoretically connect 2 points in spacetime, enabling superluminal travel. But opening and stabilizing a wormhole requires energy equivalent to converting half the sun's mass into pure energy. A Type III civilization says that is easy. They can have breakfast on the east side of the galaxy, watch the sunset on the west side by noon, and be home for dinner. 100,000 light years is just a few minutes commute, and a Type III civilization has likely achieved consciousness immortality. The body can be replaced at any time. Consciousness can be uploaded, backed up, cloned, and transferred. Death becomes replacing a hard drive. The concept of the individual may vanish. All consciousness merges into a galaxy-spanning collective intelligence. Interestingly, we may never detect a Type III civilization, not because they do not exist, but because they hide too well. The Milky Way appears empty, perhaps not because there is no advanced life, but because advanced life has learned to keep quiet. Being noisy in the universe often means dying the fastest. This is the dark forest hypothesis described by Cixin Liu. Kardashev's original theory ended at Type III, but scientists thought it was not exciting enough and added Type IV. Type IV civilization controls the energy of the entire universe, or at least a significant part of the galaxies within it. Their energy comes from dark energy and dark matter, the mysterious substances that make up 95% of the universe and are used by them daily. The most terrifying ability of a Type IV civilization is they can change the natural constants: light speed, gravity, Planck's constant. These fixed parameters are adjustable variables to them. Want to slow light speed? Change a parameter. Want to stop time? Change another parameter. Even scarier, they can create universes, make a brand new one. Theoretical physicist Alexander Vilenkin proposed that our universe might be a bubble splitting off from a higher dimension mother universe. Type IV civilizations master this technique and can create baby universes in a lab. Your desperately sought real life might just be a sandbox game in the hands of a Type IV civilization. Type V civilization not only creates universes but can jump between countless parallel universes. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics suggests every quantum event splits the universe into multiple parallel universes. You choose to wear a blue shirt this morning and the universe splits in another. You wear a red shirt. Type V civilizations can see all these parallel universes and travel between them. They exist simultaneously in all possible versions. Their consciousness spans countless parallel realities. For them, every choice is not A or B, but A and B and C. Their energy comes from quasars, the brightest objects in the universe. A quasar's brightness is equivalent to 1,000 galaxies. At its core is a supermassive black hole billions of times the sun's mass. Type V civilizations build artificial quasars as casually as we build power plants. Type V has achieved true immortality. Even if they die in this universe, their consciousness exists in countless others. They are not a single person, but a multiverse-spanning consciousness network. Type VI civilization masters not energy, but the rules themselves. They can modify the laws of physics, rewrite the universe's underlying logic. Like programmers modifying code, they can design new physical laws not just for one universe, but for all universes they choose. Type VI may be entirely formless, existing as pure consciousness. They have achieved immortality, no longer confined by the body. They can discover countless different versions of themselves within parallel universes. Timespace and dimensions are completely malleable clay to them. We may be living within one of their creations. Our universe is just an experimental sandbox designed by a life form we cannot reach. Type VII civilization can no longer be called a civilization. They are the universe itself, or they stand outside all universes. Energy, matter, and space, these concepts have no meaning to them. They are existence itself. The terror of a Type VII civilization is precisely their lack of desire. They would not invade any civilization because all civilizations were created by them. Creating a universe is like lighting a candle for them. They have achieved absolute creation and infinite perception. Their only purpose might be to dream, constantly giving birth to new realities and meanings. Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom proposed the simulation hypothesis in 2003. If a civilization advances enough, it can build a computer capable of simulating entire universes, and it would create countless such simulated universes. Then, probabilistically, the chance of us living in a real universe is far less than living in a simulated one. In other words, we are likely NPCs in a Type VII civilization's computer. The text you are reading may be just a data string, your emotions merely pre-written code running. The most terrifying thing is if the Type VII civilization finds the experiment boring, it can shut down at any time. 138 billion years of cosmic history, countless galaxy civilizations and lives are reset to zero instantly without even a goodbye. So how far can humanity ultimately develop? Some say Type III civilization might be our ceiling. To break through Type III requires not just technology but a fundamental metamorphosis of ideology. We must overcome political divisions, cultural conflicts, and environmental crises. We must learn to think and act as a single whole. Before that, we must first pass the Great Filter. We must prove that intelligent life can avoid self-destruction and that cooperation is stronger than conquest. Maybe humanity is the only civilization, maybe countless others learn to keep silent, or maybe the universe is just a giant simulator and we are code. Regardless, Kardashev's theory reveals an ultimate truth. Civilization upgrade is never a simple accumulation of technology but a metamorphosis of consciousness. Every leap from planetary citizen to stellar organism to galactic consciousness is a redefinition of individual, collective, and existential meaning. Perhaps one day in the future, when humanity truly leaves the solar system and the Milky Way entering Type III, all these mysteries will be revealed. Do you think humanity can ultimately break the Type III limit? If you had the ultimate power of a creator, what would be your first thought? Leave your answer in the comments and let us see where human imagination can truly go.